All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. Smiley Face Jane, good seeing you in the chat. Thank you for using the animated emote there. Also, Smiley Face Jane, a star of the upcoming PTCS already, qualifying in all 10 categories. I'm not sure I've seen that before. I think it's been done, but I don't think I don't think I've seen it, at least with anyone I've known. So congratulations. Representing the late night crew. All right, so tonight we have not done an experiment in a while with the holiday, and we've been playing a lot of games. There are a few people who did it last period. I guess you're the only one this time around. Awesome. Yeah, I thought I had heard of it being done before. I was not aware it had been done in the previous period, but nonetheless, an amazing accomplishment. So congratulations. So going back to the experiments, it's they usually come from just things I hear people saying, and I think, is that actually true? And so one of the things that I hear a lot, especially when the Polo Grounds was the stadium for one of the one of the affiliate tournaments. I want to say it was an EVC tournament, but I don't know. I feel like it came up before, so it might have been the 5-0 to 6-0 at one point. So Spy Face said the crazy thing is I made 9 with my other team and missed silver by like 13 spots. Wait, so are you saying you took one account and made it into 10 PTCSs? Because that's amazing. Like I got into 4 bronze, silver, uh iron, bronze, silver, and gold, but I have 7 accounts or 6 accounts. That okay, that is mind-blowingly amazing because I thought you were using a few different accounts to do this. In one account you made all 10, in another account you made 9. I don't know how you do that. That's amazing because well, here, I mean, I'll show you how I do it because I put the slide together today because I was like, I was excited I made it to a fourth a fourth category. So I have uh, being unemployed is how. So I've got 2 licenses. So a license is what you buy, right? So you buy the game, you get a license. With each license, you can create 3 accounts. So that's the difference between licenses and accounts for those who might be new to the game. Um, I use 6 6 accounts to make it into to get 7 teams in, but I'm only in 4 categories. So imagine for a Smiley Face James version of this, you could just like eliminate 4 of these teams, and for one team you would have 10 entries, and for another one you would have 9 entries. That's amazing. Because I had to like feel comfortable I was qualifying in silver and then started playing golds, and I was only able to get one of the teams into gold. The other didn't make it. You have 32 overall between 7 teams. That is amazing. Wow. But just getting 10 on your main account is that's unbelievable. Wow. Do you know if any of the other people who've gotten 10 before did it all on one account? Because that part is mind blowing to me. I don't even know how I would manage my tournaments to do that. I guess essentially you would have to like win all the time. You couldn't have any dud performances, or you might not get in one of those 10. Like the way I do it, each of these teams just cycles through iron tournaments every day because each team just has to worry about making it an iron. And then each bronze team only has to worry about making it in bronze. And it was only the silver teams that had to worry about making it into two. I Man, you must have to cycle through so many different tournaments throughout the period. West Hartford did last year, and they're insanely good. They're the ones making the spreadsheet that shows how many people qualify for how. Okay, man, that is okay. That's a whole nother level that I wasn't even expecting, or actually, frankly, I didn't think it was possible. But you must have a really high hit rate of winning tournaments because I mean, you've got to pull. I would think at least 10 points per tournament to qualify in all 10. Hey, Kaiki Santa, welcome in. Good seeing you. Had a chance to watch Kaiki Santa streaming over the weekend. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, we were just talking about Smiley Face Jane's accomplishment in qualifying for all 10 PTCS categories. I didn't realize it was one account qualifying in all 10, and then another account qualifying in 9. Oh man. Well, anyway, here's my much more modest PTCS number 9 results. I will have 7 teams in across 6 accounts in 4 levels. So gold is new for me. I was starting to do well enough, especially now that they have combi capped tournaments. I felt like I was doing well enough that I could split one of my accounts off, or one pair of accounts off, to pursue another level. And gold seemed like the next best fit. I was mostly playing gold live and uh, gold only, which is a combi capped one. Laugh and A-Dub were joking, calling Smiley Fishing an AI robot. That's how it was basically how it was functioning yesterday, trying to get my final clinches in. Oh, so it did come down to the wire then. That's so awesome. Unbelievable. That is great. Well, we're glad to know you, and we're glad to have you in our late night community, Smiley Face Jane. That is an awesome accomplishment, and wish you well in PTCS. Oh, Smiley Face Jane is gonna play another game. Love it. We have lots of options for you to choose from. I think you know what they are. I'm going to put up a revised list of the game night games though, because the Major League Farm team is new to the list. I've changed the shopping spree one to be 7 players instead of 6. Um, yeah, that Major League Farm team is good to go. You can pick any other team in the year that you're playing, and you can take 6 of their players. Right, so the thinking there is when we play Force 4 trades, you're taking the essentially probably the best player from 4 different teams. When you raid one team, you get diminishing returns. I mean, depending on the team you raid, but the 6 player is not going to be good as any of the 4 you get from Force 4 trades. So that's kind of the thinking there. And you have to find a team that's a good fit for all the things you need. Whereas with Force 4 trades, you can be very picky about who you get. So that's why you get more players. So yeah, if you want to do Major League Farm Team, I'm all for it. P-Boom, good seeing you again. I haven't seen you around in a while. Then, like today, I just heard your name being mentioned in streams all day. So P-Boom, welcome back in. But we are kind of returning to our roots a little bit and going back to an experiment. And it's actually kind of a 4-part experiment. but they all have to do with the Polo Grounds. So for those of you who are not familiar, and we're going to use the 1952 version of the Polo Grounds. I don't know if this is common knowledge. If it is, I apologize. But the specific dimensions of the Polo Grounds have changed over time, and it wasn't always like this bathtub shape that I think. At least that's what I think of. Mostly because I think of like Willie Mays making the catch, and I just think of like this diagram. I've seen different versions of this diagram a lot. So this is a version I think of. And so I went into the base game to 1952 to pull these dimensions. And they are insane, right? It's 277 and 259 down the lines. Our JV high school baseball field, I think, was even further down the line than either of those dimensions. And we had a weird field too because our field, left field, was like the edge of the athletic fields. And so it started out like at 210, I think, and it went like it actually looked a lot like the Polo Grounds left field here, where it just goes straight away from home plate. But yeah, very short down the lines. Even left field, you get to 377, 354. And then, oh, this is wrong. This is, I might have been looking at the wrong. Hold on, I need to update this. It's actually 380, 483 in center. Let me make sure I was looking at the right screenshot for this. 483, and then 449, 350. Yeah, so this is just wrong. 483. Okay. Now, in the base game, there are a few different ways you can edit a ballpark. You can edit the footage to each of these dimensions. That will actually, though, not change how the field plays. I found that out by reading the forums. Yeah, it was. It would have been funny if it was 433. You're right, smiley face, Jane. Just this like, just have like some really expensive seats just jutting out in the center field. um, but yeah, in the game, right, Willie Mays going back hits the jutting out part. Um, but yeah, changing the distances actually doesn't change how the stadium plays at all. Then you have to go adjust the ballpark factors. And the other thing I was concerned about was there might be some hidden um, factors, right? That like when you export or import a park, maybe they're in there, you don't actually get to see them, but they're buried in there somehow. So to avoid that, I actually just exported the 1952 Polo Grounds to a file. There are .prk files in your database you can go in and find. Um, Now, one thing that was a little disappointing is I couldn't find just like a straight database of all the PRK files that's in our base game, right? Because our base game should have every stadium, every season from 2024 going all the way back. And I say every season because the ballpark factors and the dimensions may change from year to year. Um, like if you watch Ezra Denny, he's been talking about how each year, Candlestick Park has changed in each of the years he's played in it because they're and he also showed like the LA Coliseum, right? And so lots of these parks, the dimensions and therefore the factors might change from year to year. So just to make sure there wasn't anything hidden there, I just went ahead and grabbed the 52. If someone can show me where all these files are just sitting so I don't have to go in and export it from a given year, that would be awesome. But I know how to do it that way, and so that's what I've done. And I only want this one park anyway. What we're going to do is we're going to import this park 8 times into our completely average league. So instead of having average ballparks now, every stadium in that average league is going to be the Polo Grounds. And then we're going to save it as a quick start because we're going to need to do this a few different ways. Now, all the theories that I've heard about how the Polo Grounds, how you should roster for the Polo Grounds, has to do with these short down the line distances. So the two theories that I hear a lot are pull hitters are going to hit more home runs in general. And I think the thinking there is you're going to pull down the line and take advantage of this really uh, short wall and down the line left field, or if you're left-handed, down the line right field. The other theory I hear is, and this comes up more in dead ball, I think, but I've heard it in multiple eras related to the Polo Grounds, is that if you're a gap hitter and a pull hitter, those extra base hits will turn into home runs. To me, that feels like, we've talked about this before, that feels like a baseball thing that might be true. That unless it's been coded into the game that way, it might not be true in the game. Because I completely agree. In real life, if you took a doubles hitter who is a dead pull hitter and put them into this ballpark, a lot of those doubles down the line are going to turn into home runs down the line because the fence is so short. But the only way that happens in OOTP is if the developers have coded it that way. Smiley Face Jane said, anecdotally from the PTCS that was played in the Polo Grounds, I don't think the pull matters much. I just remember Silver Mad Bum hitting a 450-foot bomb, either for or against Max. That's amazing. Um, yeah, so whether or not it plays out that way, I know that was a lot of the chatter going into both going to PTCS, but also going into um, these tournaments that were played in the Polo Grounds. I want to say it was it the 5L for a while, or was it one of EVC's tournaments? Anyway, there are a lot of roster building conversations during roster building streams about gap hitters who can pull to get home runs. And the other reason I want to do it in dead ball, try it out in dead ball too, is if that should be more pronounced in dead ball just because there are fewer home runs hit. So okay, EVC does Polar Grounds for one of his drafts. Okay, so that might have been the one I was thinking of. So we're gonna start testing this out tonight. We're gonna do, uh, the complete average league is divided up into the AL, the average league, and the NL, the neutral league. We'll make one of them a power hitting league, so everyone will get 550 power, and some teams will be normal, some teams will be spray, and the other team will be pull. And we'll see if there's a difference there. The other league, they call them sub leagues in the game. The other sub league will all have, they'll remain completely average, except all the batters will become either all pull, all spray, or remain all normal. And because it's 2023, we can turn the modifiers off. And so there'll be a bunch of home runs hit in one of the sub leagues. But across both, I'm kind of curious to see if if having all pull hitters is an advantage in hitting home runs. Is it more pronounced if you have power hitters, or is it more pronounced if you just have kind of average hitters? That's the other thing we're going to be testing for. So, as always, let's go ahead and start doing the pack giveaway form because we are going to give away packs based on how you all can guess how this simulation is going to go. Now, it's been a while since we did one of these. These take a little longer because we're not using, we can't just pull a create a roster template and ask the same questions we ask every time. We're going to have to ask questions tailored for this experiment. but I think we can. I'm going to grab one from a past experiment because I think content wise, it should be pretty similar. Okay, but there's one for batting and pitching actually. But I think we want to find one we're testing like power or something. Let me see if I can find. Oh, here's contact. Okay, let's start with this one. This is going back quite a ways, episode 135. Let me make a copy of this. Episode 137. Pull hitters in the polo grounds is what we'll call it. Pull hitters, 2023 pull hitters in the 1952 polo grounds. Okay, let me share this up on the screen. We'll go through the questions together and then we'll set up the simulation. Oh, wait, I I named it episode 137. It's actually 170, 179. I just confused myself. There we go. Okay, now I can find it to share. Doesn't seem to want to find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, so tonight's experiment will try to determine in 2023 whether or not having pull hitters results in more home runs than teams with spray or normal fly ball. Those are fly ball tendencies, I believe, in the game. We will use the completely or the completely average league in which all players are completely average and identical. The 1.00 ballpark factor stadiums will be replaced by the polo grounds exported from the OOTP 25 1952 season. Now, that's important partly because one of the ways you can find historic stadiums is, for example, to go to the forums. There are all these great communities built around creating um, historic stadiums, and they have their own ballpark factors to go with the 3D the models. Right, so there are three things that the basically the game pulls in when you pull in the stadium. It pulls in the graphics, it pulls in the dimensions, and it pulls in the factors. The factors are the only thing that affect the play. based on everything I've read on the forums, including what I've read from OOTP in the online user guide or the digital user guide. So if you don't change the factors and you bring in the new graphics and the new distances, it will still play exactly the same unless until you change the factors. And so just to avoid any discrepancies between whose 1952 polygons did we use and whether or not the factors are correct, because it does seem like each ballpark designer on the forums is setting their own ballpark factors as well. So just to avoid that, we're just going to pull straight from the game from the 1952 season. Okay. In one sub league, I don't know if it'll be A or no. We'll just call it the Power Sub League. All of the batters will have their power rating increased to 550. Then each team will have all of their batters' fly ball, ground ball, and fly ball tendencies set to normal, spray, or pull. One team will have pull, fly ball, and extreme pull, ground ball tendencies. There is no extreme pull, fly ball tendency. I've noticed that before, and I always thought that was odd. I don't know if anyone else thinks that, but for ground ball, you can be neutral, spray, pull, or extreme pull. But for fly ball, you can only be normal pull or spray. There's no extreme pull for fly ball. And we'll call that one the power subleague for the purpose of the questions and for discussion. In the other normal or average subleague, all of the batters will remain unchanged except for their ground ball and fly ball tendencies. I hope this is making sense. It makes sense in my brain, but that's not always good gauge. Power League. These will be the teams, right? There'll be one team that is power equals 500, 550. Ground ball equals normal. Fly ball equals normal. This will be team power, normal, normal. Power equals 550. Ground ball equals spray. Fly ball equals spray. This is team power, spray, spray. That acronym is almost pretty bad. Power equals 550. Ground ball equals pull. Fly ball equals pull. And this is team PPP. And 4 is power equals 550. Ground ball equals extreme pull. Fly ball equals pull. And that'll be team PXP. And in the average sub league, power equals 220. Oh, no, I think it's set at 400. That's right. Ground ball equals normal. Actually, let's just copy this and we'll just change all these to 400s. This is kind of an annoying experiment to set up. Like I had to actually do a lot of work today to make sure I knew how to do the ballpark exporting and importing and find the right ballpark to import and everything. But I've been wanting to know the answer to this for so long it was worth doing. Hey, Clay Dog, we're doing an experiment tonight to test the theory that pull hitters will hit more home runs in the polo grounds. Oh, we are going to get a bad acronym. Yeah, Clay Dog, I was just saying the same thing that I've been wondering this for so long that we are going to have a bad acronym. We're going to have ASS. Average power, spray hitter, spray ground ball, spray fly ball. There is an ass team, and there's almost a piss team. I don't think anyone's a fan of spraying from ass, so I think we're all on the same page on that one. And oh, this is an old one. This is back when we used to do earliest submission wins. It's still tied up to the final tiebreaker. Finalists will split packs evenly. 7 packs. Slime Age says almost an ass team guess. You don't gotta change the Mets. All right. We are going to be able to keep modifiers off for this one because we're just running 2023. 2023. Okay, now let's figure out the questions here. Uh, OTP ID has to be is case sensitive, so be careful. Okay, which power sub-league team will hit the most home runs? Team PNN, Team PSS, Team PPP, or Team PXP. I'll help you out here. I'll put the definitions. Okay, let me just copy this one. And I think there's a question here around will the team that leads the power sub league in home runs hit 10% plus more home runs than the second. So we're looking for some gauge of whether it's a significant difference or not. Maybe let's call this 5%. 10% is pretty steep. So we're basically looking for whichever team finishes first, is that difference going to be significant? And then I think we want to repeat this for the average league. R equals 400. Everything else is the same. Here it is. Team ass. Power equals 400. A lot of times coming up with the questions for the pack giveaway is a lot harder than coming up with the experimental design for the experiment. And then again, will this difference be significant? All right. And then we need some numerical questions. Oh, you know what? Before that, I want to find out who's going to hit the fewest home runs too. That's what's going to be who's going to hit the fewest home runs. Let's bold that so no one misses it. And then we'll ask the same question here. Clay Dog asking, anyone start working their PTS rosters yet? Had a feeling it might be modern era, so it's slowly stocking up on low key combis for this one. So I've learned my lesson from the last few PTCSs where I either stream normally on Friday and then do my roster builds, or I did do the roster builds on a Friday stream. And Smiley, I think it was actually Smiley Face Jane and Clay were super helpful in helping me make decisions. And Sci-Fi Jane even sold me some cards so I could have them on my team. But I was still pulled an all-nighter pulling all my rosters together. So what I might do is we'll try to do a pack ripping stream on Thursday so I can get some cards for my teams, and then do a roster building stream on Friday. And since there's not really a good way to do a pack giveaway there, we'll just do the wheel. We'll do that the random wheel. We'll do 5 packs like at the beginning of the stream, and then we'll do another drawing uh like maybe partway through. So Spy Face has started a bronze based on one account because they think they'll be their strongest team. Oh, that's good. And then we'll return more to like normal programming after PTCS. In fact, we already have Flying WV playing Creator Roster on Saturday night after PTCS, so that'll be fun. Yes, Spyface Jane. I also have the modifiers, but I actually just exported the stadium because I'm a little worried that there are hidden factors that are not shown on screen. I just want to just bring the whole stadium in with the factors, whatever factors are shown and whatever factors might not be shown. So I'm hoping that gives us a more complete simulation. And I'll show you how I did that too, because I had to remember how to do it. Okay, and this will be which team will hit the fewest home runs in the average league. Now, if you believe in one of the mechanics, then I would think you would guess the same for the power league and the average league, but who knows? Spyface said, I've been getting into spreadsheet stuff since seeing how easy a lot of it is on your stream. Oh, well, thank you for saying that, Spyface. I'm glad to know that the things we do on here are being helpful to folks. So I really appreciate hearing that. Okay, and then just have some fun guessing numbers here where we'll say how many home runs will be hit by the league, by the power league leader in home runs. And then let's copy that question and say how many homes will be hit by the average league. And I want to ask an ERA question in the power league, but no one's going to qualify for ERA. um, oh, I know. We'll flip it. We'll say who will lead the power league in, oh, I'm sorry. How many innings will be pitched by the pitcher who leads the power league in innings pitched? So you have to remember when there's that many home runs being hit, pitchers are going to get chased early. ERA is going to be super high. So the starters, when we've done this before, sometimes no starters qualify for the ERA title because no one can pitch 162 innings. We're probably going to see something similar here. So this is just kind of a fun question to break any ties. Okay, so I call this the smiley face Jane test because smiley face Jane has pointed out very helpfully in the past where I have written a question that should have a multiple choice and it's short answer, or I've written a question that should be short answer and it's still multiple choice. So, okay, which power team will hit the most home runs? It is correctly multiple choice and all the choices are there. And will the team that does lead the power league in home runs hit 5% or more home runs than the team hitting the second most home runs? Then the same questions for the average league, which, oh, wait. I don't have the base question anymore. I think I must have moved this without copying it. So let me copy this. This has most. Let's bold most in this one too. When you say spreadsheets, that's what I'm facing. Are you talking about like exporting the season results and stuff, or some other spreadsheets? Okay, which sub power sub teams with the most home runs will it be more than 5% ahead of the next team? Which average sub league team will hit the most home runs? Will that be more than 5% ahead of the next one? And then which power sub league team will hit the fewest? Which average sub league team will hit the fewest? How many home runs will be hit by the power league leader in home runs? So this is well, I should say this is an individual player I'm looking for. So let me say by the player who leads the power league in home runs. So we're looking for a player total, not a team total. Oh, I see what you're saying. Using spreadsheets to keep track of things like OTP turning years and different league averages by year. Yeah. That's great. Okay, how many home runs will be hit by the player who leads the power league in home runs? How many home runs will be hit by the player who leads the average league in home runs? And then how many innings will be pitched by the pitcher who leads the power league in innings pitched? That will be interesting. Okay, I think we're good. Let's open up the form, and I will post it in chat. Link to form for tonight's 10-pack giveaway. And let's pin that. All right, good luck, everybody. When do we get the golden at bat experiments? I I don't actually think it'd be possible to test that because I don't know that we can break the game in that way. I'm up for trying it though. There are a bunch of settings that we can look at and see if there's a way to do that. That would be fun. All right, so let's go ahead and set this up in the base game. Let me open up my base game. I've been checking to see if my new PC is shipped yet. Apparently, printed a shipping label for it, but it has not been picked up by the carrier. The label was printed on Saturday. It's now Monday night, and it's still not been picked up. Oh, Cypher J, thank you for sharing your spreadsheet in Discord. Yeah, I'm gonna also take a look at it in case it's something I might want to use too. All right, here we go. Now we are gonna start by using the quick start. And we're gonna name this, we'll call it Polo Grounds. We'll call it Polo Power. The next one will be Polo Gap. Polo Power 2023 VO1. Okay, commissioner mode cannot be fired. All right, so the first thing we need to do is we need to import the stadium. So under info and ballpark, where you see we made everything average, right? Everything one because it is a complete average league. But we're going to import the entire ballpark. So under edit, there's manually import data from file. Now, this is actually not the one I want. I want this is reference. This is I called it reference 1952 because I created the season just as a reference file. And then under import export, this is the Polo Grounds I want. This is the 1950 Polo Grounds, straight from the game. Do I want to keep the current factors? No. Okay. So now this has the right distances. It also has the right modifiers. And if there is anything below the surface, it should have imported those as well. .5 is insane. And here's why I don't think pull matters, because there's nothing that says, it just says left or right hand batters. There's nothing about pull or spray or down the line, but we'll see. We will see. So I chose 1952 because 1950 has the classic shape that, at least to me, I'm most familiar with, right? It's this shape here, right? And so that's why I pulled those modifiers. So now we'll go to the next team down, which is the Average Angels. We're going to do the same thing. So you see here, it has a reference, so this is the right Polo Grounds file. Once you do it once, it's very easy. It's just repeat. But it took me about an hour of experimenting today to get it right, to make it this easy. So you all are benefiting from the trial and error I did off stream. Now, in some ways, do I think it might have been constructive to do that trial and error on stream so you can see what not to do? Maybe. But ultimately, I feel like it's more important that we get to the simulation and you get to see the final answer of how to do this. Oh, and how I got the 52 file out is in 52, I went to the Giants and said, export this parts data to a file. But that's why it's embedded in that save. Modifiers will be turned off. So the ballpark factors will be on, but the season modifiers will be off. Correct. Yes. No, I totally understand why you'd want to know that. That makes sense. And as I was setting this up, I realized like this is super fun. It is very much like on brand for our experiments to include every ballpark in the league is the Polo Grounds. That sounds like such like something our we would do in this stream. Every player's average and every park is the Polo Grounds. It is going to get nutty. I have no idea how nutty though. I think this is the last Polo Grounds to import. Okay, so that part's done. Let's go ahead and do a quick save here. And let's do the rest. Let's now rename the teams. And this is another reason why I like to do the form first. Not only does it give everyone a chance to start filling it out, but it gives me the list of teams to create here. So we'll just rename the AL the average power sub league because that makes sense because it already has the A in the name. Average, normal, normal, average, spray, spray, average, pull, pull, and average, extreme, pull, pull. And in the power league, it would be power, normal, normal, power, spray, spray, power, pull, pull, power, extreme, pull, pull. PXP. Okay, now now I can go edit the players knowing what I'm doing. Oh, this is sorted by average, sort by position. There you go. Okay, so average is easy. They just have to get extreme pull and pull. They don't have to have any changes to their batting profile. Their ground. This one's gonna be extreme pull and pull. Oops. All right, that seems done. That was pretty quick. Okay, now this team is average, normal, normal. So I shouldn't have to change anything on this team, actually, now that I think about it, because I chose normal as the average. So everyone should already be, yeah, this team needs no changing at all. Sweet. This is average pull, pull. Oops. All right, that seems done. And average spray, spray. Oops, that one didn't go through. There it is. And now we start getting to the power teams. I might just go ahead and do all the power changes first, and then I'll do all of the Then I'll do all the poll changes. Okay. Now we'll go back and do these. This is extreme pull. Oh, that reminds me. I don't know why this reminded me of that, but on Thursday, I will be on Laptop Hound stream getting interviewed. And he always does a fun job interviewing his guests. So I'm looking forward to that experience. And I do have a Friday time slot in the afternoon reserved. So I'm hoping to get either EVC or Spore to do. Spore has wanted to do low ball ever since he heard about low ball. He already did creator roster. He wants to do low ball now. So I think that could be fun. Or if we can get EVC, I want EVC to take a shot at low ball too because he did so well in regular. But other people I've invited are Nicolino, who works for OTP, and among the many things he does is it processes our pack giveaways. So I wanted to thank him by offering him a chance to play one of our games. But I don't have a guest locked down yet for the afternoon. So if I don't get a day walker, we could always have someone from the community play. And so if you're saying you just redeem one, so if you don't mind being a backup, you can maybe do a Friday afternoon game if you're interested. Okay, this is a power normal. So really, I just have to do the power changes here. So this one will be pretty easy too. That's awesome, Sophie Stream. And it did sound like you're interested in playing Major League Farm Team because that's actually like an ideal game for that time slot because it's pretty quick to set up, especially with you because you always come prepared with all your picks ready to go. All right, so that team is done. Now we got the power pull. These last two teams will require a full set of edits. So I know you probably don't know all the players you want, but do you already know what team you're going to play? Oh, that is interesting. The 2018 Orioles, both from a perspective of improving that team, but also what team is the best fit to raid. There's a lot of interesting stuff in there. That is a cool choice, Smiley Face Jane. I like that a lot. Also interesting too, because that's a team that in real life has made a successful turnaround. Um, I remember in the era when they were really bad. I usually watch Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt whenever he's on, and he's an Orioles fan. He's basically a fan of anything from the DMV, um, right? Um, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and so it was always like extra painful and memorable how bad those Orioles teams were, especially when they faced the Yankees. I just remember them getting trounced by the Yankees all the time in the highlights on his show. And it's really cool now to see them doing so well. Because at the time, it was like, how do you ever pull out of a tailspin like they were in as an organization? But they did it. Not only they do it, but they seem like they have an endless supply of prospects coming up. So it's kind of awesome to see how they turned it around. Someday I'd like to see it, especially if they do end up winning a World Series. I'd like to see a deep dive on how they went from that period of time when they were so bad to now and then to an eventual championship. That'd be really cool to see the breakdown of that. All right, that team is done. We're one team away from getting ready to start this sim. I'm very excited about this to see how this plays out. And yeah, it's okay that you're not 100% sure it's my face, Jane. I just wanted to get a sense of what you're thinking. So don't let my enthusiasm for that pick make you feel cornered into that pick. Whatever you choose, I will. I'm sure I will find interesting. Like I don't know enough of that squad right now without looking into it a little bit, just where the weaknesses are, and therefore I don't know, who the good fits might be for rating as your farm team. But just the fact that they're in a division with the Yankees, of course, makes that an appealing source of players. Because even when the Yankees aren't great, they always have a stockpile of talented players. And the top six of any of those Yankees rosters would probably be worth grabbing or at least looking at, just to know if they're a good fit for what that vintage of Orioles team needs. Okay, now these are all done except for the this is spray. Which ever since Clay Dog mentioned the chat, I can't think of spray without being a little grossed out. All right, that looks like it's it. Let me do a quick check, spot check a couple teams here to make sure we did everything right. Power, normal, normal. Yeah, that guy's right. Power, pull, pull. Okay, everything seems to be in order here. So let's go, let's save this. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and run our 3 minute ad break. If anyone's working on their pack giveaway form, this is your 3 minute warning. And I definitely need more water. So I'll see you all in 3 minutes and then we'll start the sim. All right, looks like we're back from the ad break. If anyone is still working on their pack form, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna shut it down in a few seconds here, and then we'll take a look at the guesses. Now, because I thought it would help a little too much, I did not do the preseason preview like I do with Creator Roster and some of the other games. Because I think part of the fun is not knowing what the heck is going to happen in this Power League in particular. But we will look at it after we close the forum. All right. I'm not hearing any objections, so I'm going to go ahead and close the forum. Continue our tradition of some of the best pack giveaway odds in all of OTP. We have 3 contestants tonight. So good luck to all of you. I'm going to hide the usernames for now. And then hang on a second. I got to do something with my phone here real quick. Bear with me. I know I haven't put the guesses up on the screen yet. Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's see. I think we're ready to share this on screen. All right. Two people think it's going to be the spray hitting team actually that leads uh, the league in team home runs. And the other guess is the extreme pull ground ball, pull fly ball team. No one thinks that though the difference is going to be statistically significant, 5% or more. And in the average, the same pattern. The two players think it's going to be the spray team, and the other thinks it's going to be the extreme pull and pull team. In the average team, though, interestingly, the extreme pull guesser thinks that will be 5% or more of a difference. And then as far as fewest home runs, the answers are different. Extreme pull for fewest, and normal for fewest. And then the average team, we have 3 guesses: extreme, pull, neutral, and spray. Very interesting. There's a lot more variety of guesses in the average league. Okay, we're going to save the numerical guesses for after the sim. But now that the guesses are in, and I guess I can unpin from the chat too. Let's sim a day. Let's save this. Hey, you know what? I'm going to say this as a quick start too. Not that it was a ton of work, but we may want to use this again. So, average league power and average power sub leagues, normal spray pull hitters, 2023 run environment, 1952 Polo Grounds Stadium. Important. Okay. All right, let's roll a day. All right, let's check out these predictions. Okay, good. Average is first. Normal, normal. Oh, this is interesting. The predictions are different. Spray is predicted to hit the most home runs. Now, this is interesting because the stadiums are all the same, the players are all the same, except for all we changed was the pull and spray. I'm gonna screenshot. This is interesting. So it is projecting the normal team to hit the most home runs. Hey, have a good night, Minerva. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, so whoever gets spray might be onto something here. The AI is projecting that. All right, now let's check out what's going to happen in the neutral league. Holy cow! Okay, the run totals 700s, right? Home run totals in the 200s. The home run totals are in the thousands. And the run totals are in the 2000s. So triple home runs and 6x home runs. But again, this time it's pull that's predicted to have the most home runs. I think it might be a few off on the survey. Okay, look at the league leaders projected 153 home runs projected. And this guy so close to creating the 130-20 club. Why would you steal any bases knowing you have people on your team gonna hit 100 home runs? This is also interesting. It's projecting position players to be the ERA leaders. I've never seen that either. Okay, this is gonna be wild. But it will be interesting. Like, what does the AI know about spray and pull and normal that it's able to project that normal would be the lowest home run total in the power league, and that normal would be the. I mean, I guess what's happening here is normal is hitting it to dead center, but in the average league, normal is projected to finish second in home runs. It's the extreme pull that's projected to finish low. So I can't make heads or tails of this. All right, well, let's see what happens. This is just making it all the more interesting to find out what happens. Okay, the Power League. Actually, the scores aren't too crazy. 19-12 and 13-12. The list of home run hitters isn't crazy. Several people hitting 2 home runs already. Oh yeah, there are going to be some crazy achievements, I'm sure. A 10-game home run streak, another 10-game home run streak, eight times achieved. Home run streaks were achieved 8 times in the first month. That's amazing. A 16-game RBI streak, a 16-game run streak by Little Debbie. We did have a pitcher of the month somehow. What did this guy do? Pitcher of the month. Oh, he's in the average league. That's why he went 5-1. Oh, let's change the mailbox before we miss any important. Someone has to win pitcher of the month. That is true, Smiley Face Jay. That's funny. So we don't have like I want to make sure we get the notification so then we can look and see what their monthly stats were in the notification. I also forgot to check all this stuff. Normally I check it. Modifiers are off. Okay, we're good. We're good. Just want to double check that. 12-game extra base hit streak, 16-game extra base hit streak, a 20-game two 20-game hitting streaks. Okay, we're through the month of May, and the league leader in home runs already has 54 home runs, and there are 3 people hitting over 417. In the average league, the batting leader is hitting 274, and the home run leader is hitting that's at 13 home runs. Now it's still early, and again, we don't go by team record, right? Because we think there's too many things that kind of obscure what's happening. But it's noteworthy that the spread is greater in the power league. I think more home runs is maybe making um, whatever differences there might be from the pull profile, the tendency profile. Yes, my face says modifiers are for sure off. I think we've confirmed that. Yeah. Um, but there's really no pattern showing up here either yet on what team is pulling ahead. Now we could look at the home run leaders and say there's a PXP home run leader, and the next two are PPP players. So pull is definitely being represented there. In the average league, though, there's more normals being represented there. So that's an interesting difference, but it is still early. The batters have already hit 100 RBIs, and we're in the month of June. with a 43 game on base streak by average outfielder four. We still have three hitters over 400 here. Okay, Pull is leading the Power League. Pull. Oh, is also leading in the average league, but the leads are pretty small. Okay, let's go to the All Star break. One more game to get actually to the break itself. Okay, at the All Star break, we have two players tied with 77 home runs in the Power League, and we have three players tied at 17 home runs in the Average League. Uh, the Extreme Pull team is in first place by 4 games in the Power League, and it's the Pull team that's leading the Average League. I'm assuming the home run challenge is going to be all players from the Power League, but we'll see. Yes. And the lowest home run total in the home run challenge is 66 home runs. All right. Oh, Curtis Blanderson makes it to round two. One of the best names in the league, Curtis Blanderson. Average infielder six and average outfielder four make it to the final. And average outfielder four wins the home run challenge. Let's take a look at the All Star choices because I want to see if there are any patterns that emerge as we look at the voting. Pull, spray, pull. Okay, now one thing you could say, if the spray hitter is actually the opposite of the pull hitter, the spray hitters could be getting opposite field home runs, and the pull hitters could be getting. I mean, they could both be hitting home runs down the line. So there could actually be something to the fact that it's a short porch down the line, and not just the overall home run factor. But it's hard to infer that from the All Star voting because it might be a little more specific than the standings because it's player by player, but probably not enough to draw big conclusions. Also, this is the average league. Let's look in the power league. Let's see if there are any other patterns here. Pull, spray, pull, extreme pull. But then when you think there's a pattern, then there's a normal DH. So I don't know that there's a lot to be learned here. In the average league, you have some pretty average pitching performances like you might expect. They took a ton of starting pitchers in that league. Well, look at this. Why did they take so many pitchers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 pitchers. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 position players. I don't think it's usually that lopsided. Oh, but look at the power league. They're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers. I wonder if they're already anticipating the average team knows that they're going to get shelled, so they need a lot of pitchers. I've never seen it this lopsided though. Do you think it's because the pitching's better, or do you think they're anticipating needing a bigger pitching staff because they're going to get roughed up? Check it out. Welcome to the All Star roster with your 13.38 ERA, 15.87 ERA, 18.98 ERA. I've never seen such lopsided rosters. That's really wild. I mean, there could be a point around if it's going by WAR, you have a lot more positive WAR pitchers here, so maybe that warrants more choices. Yeah, I wouldn't. Spy Face Jane, I wouldn't be surprised if it's based on worthiness. I also wouldn't be surprised if it's anticipating the need for more pitchers because they're going to get crushed. But yeah, I think there's a good WAR argument to be made here. Like, look how high these WARs are, and then in this league, I mean, look, there's two positive WAR pitchers. The rest are negative WAR. So yeah, there might be a worthiness issue too. Oh, interesting. Clay Dog saying makes me wonder if it's not coded so that each team needs X amount for each position, but rather the whole All Star game needs X of each position. That's interesting. Yeah, I think this is opening a whole different kind of testing we want to do down the road here. Because you know the way to test it is if both leagues have power hitters, then do both teams bring tons of pitchers because they know they're going to get crushed. Or if it's based on worthiness, then both leagues will bring very few pitchers. I think that's the way we could test it. Oh, Sci-Fi Stan thinks then it would just be even. That's an interesting theory as well. Okay, well, let's finish this test before we start thinking about too many other tests. But that is a really interesting finding there. It's crazy how many pitchers there are here. And also crazy how few pitchers are over here. It's insane. All right. Let's uh let's sim to the All-Star game. Yeah, the AL wars are much better. So I think that definitely lends some credence to the worthiness theory. Okay, I will say I forgot to say at the beginning of the sim, but every time we do an experiment, I say I learned something unexpected. This is completely unexpected and it's blowing my mind. This is so cool. Man, an entirely unexpected side result of this experiment are these all-star rosters. Yo, yeah, absolutely. Smiley Face Jane. Yes, they're on a completely different war universe than the other league. So let's see what happens when these two teams play each other in the All Star game. It might end up looking like a Jim Unknown game. No, it's not too bad. It's 14-3, but the power team does win. I thought it was gonna be like 55-4 or something, but it's not that outrageous. The neutral league probably used all their pitchers. Yeah, because one guy had to go 2 innings. But yeah, I thought the average league pitchers they'd be like doing like a third of an inning before getting chased. but they all hung in there. This one dude gave up 6 earned in an inning, and it wasn't just power. This an infielder pitched for the NL. Yeah, you're right. They did. They probably ran out of pitchers. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7 pitchers. They brought to the game one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 pitchers. Yeah. So they used all their pitchers, so this an infielder had to come in and pitch. That's awesome. Good catch, Life 18. I totally missed that. I'm glad you caught that. Look at all the pinch hitting they did though to get all their batters in the game. This pitcher gave up 4 runs, none earned. So it wasn't just the home runs. There were 4 errors made. Well, so that's interesting. The only thing that's different is power, but why did they make 4 more errors than the other team? There's nothing different in the fielding of the two leagues. I mean, it could just be RNG, but that's very odd to me as well. Huh. All right. I really want to find out what happens here. So let's go ahead and finish up this sim. RNG and RNG, maybe. It could be. We're coming up on 100 home runs here. 10-game shutdown streak by average reliever four. I'm assuming that's in the average league. Yes, it is. Okay, we're now at August 1st, and the Power League home run hit leader is at 91 home runs. So in the month of August, they're going to hit 100 home runs. Yeah, so I think I would be shocked if it was related to power too, but we're always discovering surprising stuff in these sims. I'm going to go a week at a time to see when they hit 100 home runs. Okay, they're at 98 home runs, and it's August 7th. There it is, 100. 100. We have two 100 home run hitters, and it's the middle of August. Let's go to the end of the month. A 67 game on base streak and a 51 game on base streak. So I hope no one gets over 100. Again, this is wow. Pull is leading the power league, and Spray is leading the no average league. Spray is dead last in the power league. All right, let's go ahead and finish out the season. Okay. Um, I mean, I guess someone had to win the ERA crown. Oh, that's in the average league. Okay, let's check out what happened here. I looks like I also inadvertently ran through the postseason. Okay, so spray in the average league beat pull, and extreme pull beat normal in the power league. All right. Power extreme pull against average spray. 13-0. Now, average spray should still be able to score runs. They just they'll I'm sure they'll get outscored, but they should still be able to score. So what is happening there? Because there's nothing about the pitching or the defense of the power team that's enhanced. It's just they can hit a lot of home runs. So why are they not able to score there? I mean, I guess it could be RNG. Okay, they're not getting shut out every game. At least they scored 3 runs on 9 hits. This is a pitcher's duel here, 5-3. I did not expect that. All right, travel day. I mean, I'm fully expecting a sweep, but I wasn't expecting a 5-3 pitcher's duel there. Again, 6-3. That's a very close game. I was not expecting this. Average team wins 7-2. 4 runs in the top of the third. Holy cow! They held the power team to 2 runs. Okay, they do win it. This is what I was saying, 17-7. There you go. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the Power Extreme Pull. This is the team that won the World Series. Hey, D Block, welcome in. We're doing a test on the Polo Grounds to see if having pull hitters or spray hitters or normal hitters makes a difference in the power numbers. So here are some of the scores of this team that won the World Series. They won 32-13, 37-19, 21-16. But are there any pitchers duels in this power league? Not that month. Not that month. There's a 9-6 game. That's the closest I see to a pitcher's duel. 10-9, 8-9, 3-1. Oh, what happened here? A 1-run 3-hitter. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. 6-8, 7-8 in extras. But yeah, that 3-1 really stands out. 3-7. 34-16. That's more like it. All right, let's go to let's finish the playoffs. Let's save the game. All right, now let's sim to Great Glove Awards, which really doesn't matter. These should be random, right? They kind of are. I don't see any patterns there. These should all be random. Well, the Mariners won one, two, three, four, five. That's weird. Everyone should be average, so that's odd. That's that's surprising. Reliever of the year. Let's see the winner of the reliever in the Power League. I can't wait to see that. In the average league, 37 saves, 2.70 ERA wins it. In the Power League, 11.45 ERA with one save wins the reliever of the year. That's awesome. All right, Platinum Stick Awards. Now this might tell us something. We might be able to see some patterns in here. In the average league, yeah, I'm seeing pull pulls, sprays, and normals. So spray has one, two, three, four, five. Spray won half of them. In the Power League, it's a lot more uh, even in the Power League. Here, Rookie of the Year. There shouldn't be any rookies, right? Yeah, no one won. No one was eligible. All right, Cy Young Awards. Now, in the average league, 14 and 6 with a 3.46 wins it. I think that's just coin flips. And in the Power League, as Chat has observed, someone has to win the Cy Young Award too. 10 and 6 with a 10.22 ERA. Oh, he did log 149 and two-thirds innings, 155 strikeouts, and a 10.22 ERA. Holding opponents to a 323 average. And again, we didn't raise anyone's contact, but when you raise their power, those 100 home runs that are, if league average is 25 and you hit 125 home runs, that's 100 base hits that are not accounted for in your contact rating. Oh, the closer got a first place vote. Oh yeah, look at that. A couple closers here at the end too. That is the most closers we've seen in Cy Young voting. Probably, Jane. I think that's absolutely correct. All right, MVP voting. Catcher number one chosen. 8 first place votes. All sweeps the first place votes. Wow, in 315 at bats, hits 23 home runs, and he is a pull hitter. And a tight race in the Power League, but 135 home runs and 226 RBIs and a 397 average takes it. All right, let's look at the league leaders. Let's look at the average league first. Now, this is interesting. One, two, three, four, five of the top 8 batting average uh, leaders are from the spray team. I don't honestly know if that means anything, but that is, theoretically there should be 2 each, right? If it's even. If spray or pull doesn't matter, you would think there'd be long run average. There should be 2 each, and that's definitely not the case there. What about for home runs? Because that's really what this question's about. Pull has 3. Extreme pull has 2. Normal has 2. Spray only has 1. Okay, that's something. Okay, let's look at the Power League now. Now, this is interesting. Extreme pull are the top three home run hitters, but then they're not in any of the next five positions. So that's kind of a weird distribution. That could just be coin flipping, I guess. All right, well, let's go to the team stats, I guess. All right, team normal had the fewest home runs in the average league, and extreme pull had the most. Pull had the second most. So there is something here. If you are a pull hitter, these are two flavors of pull hitters, right? And they finish first and second. And extreme pull did finish more than 5% ahead of pull. In the power league, things are a lot more even. Pull has the most home runs. Extreme pull has the second highest, but they're only one home run more than the next place team. Now, what is 1367 divided by 1298? It is just barely 5% more, 5.3% more. So pull did finish more than 5% ahead of extreme pull. In both leagues, pull and extreme pull had the most home runs. So there is something here. It does seem like being a pull hitter does help you in the polo grounds. What's 241 divided by 222? That's a almost a 9% difference. So extreme pull hits the most home runs in the average league and it hits 9% more than the next highest team. When we get to the power league, though, it's pull that hits the most home runs. And it is more than 5% more. Now, part of it could be that the pull family, right? Pull and extreme pull, they have two tickets in this lottery. So if the pull family finished first in both, then I would say, well, maybe that's just luck. And they had twice as many entries as anyone else. But the fact that both members of the pull family finished first and second in home runs in both leagues does lead me to feel like there is something to this whole hitting thing. All right. Well, it's not as definitive as I would have hoped, but it does seem like there is something there. All right. So let's take a look now. Let's give away some packs. Okay. Which power league will hit the most home runs? And in the power league, it was pull, pull. So we had no one guess that correctly. And the difference was more than 5%. No one guessed that correctly. All right. Now, in the average league, which team led? In the average league, it was Extreme Pull Pull, which Kayaking Santa did nail. And yes, it was more than 5%. Barely, but was. All right, now the questions switch. Which has the fewest? In the Power League, which team had the fewest? And in the Power League, it was Spray Spray that had the fewest. No one guessed that right. And in the Average League, who hit the fewest? Normal Normal. Oh, we have a winner. Clay Dog finishes second. All right, now let's do. Now, this is just for bragging rights, but I do like to see who got the numericals right. How many home runs hit by the league leader in home runs? Well, it was over 100 for sure, but that also means Smiley Face Jane nails that one. 135 home runs. And how many home runs will the player who leads the average league in home runs? 28. You guys all overshot. Clay Dog came the closest at 49. I think you have to remember Major League average is around 25 to 30, so it didn't drift too far from that. I think to get to that average though, that's based on average rating, I should say, because obviously there's a long tail of hitters who don't hit many home runs. So it's if you take the average major league hitter, you won't hit 25. But if you take the average rating, that translates to about 25 home runs. How many innings pitched? Oh, that's a great question we didn't cover. How many innings pitched in the Power League? Look at that. There's no ERA winner. No one pitched enough innings. 153 and two thirds. Smiley Face Jane, very close with a very nice guess. With a guess of 169, a very nice guess, and a very close guess. So, Smiley Face Jane nailed the numericals, uh, getting the most home runs in the Power League correct. Um, just one away from beating Clay Dog to the home runs in the average league and getting the closest in the innings pitched in the Power League. But unfortunately, Kaiki Santa and Clay Dog beat Smiley Face Jane to the packs in the non numerical part of the contest. All right, so 7 packs to Kayaking Santa. Congratulations. And 3 packs to Clay Dog for second place. And we've said it many times before, Clay Dog is the king of finishing second place in the pack giveaways. Right, well, the results were not as definitive as I was hoping for, but they were interesting. And in the fact that in both leagues, some version of pull hitter finished first and second in home runs, it's hard to ignore that. Now, I think what will be more telling is testing this theory that gap hitters can become home run hitters if they're gap and pull in a stadium of this configuration. Because then that really means that the ballpark factors are not just 1.5 and 1 point whatever for left and right, but there are potentially some hidden ballpark factors for like down the line, which I would be very surprised if that exists. But I've been surprised before. In fact, I was super surprised by how the All Star voting, All Star rostering went. So there is no end to how this game can surprise me. No matter how much I play it, I've been playing for over a decade. No matter how much I pull it apart and break it, as you've seen us do in our experiments, it's always showing me something new, which is kind of cool. All right, so let's uh let's put the title page back up. So thanks for being here for the experiment. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found the pack giveaway interesting. I do want to give a shout out to D Block, who is doing. He's on Twitch front page. I think. Well, tomorrow, actually, now it's already his tomorrow there in Germany. So, Kaisen, you're very welcome. Glad to have you in the chat. And of course, congratulations on the packs, Kayak Santa. But let's give a shout out to D Block. Don't cut the D Block Dragon. And please check out his front page appearance, or his appearance on the front page of Twitch. Um, being on front page means he'll probably get plenty of viewers, but I'm sure he'll appreciate having his regulars and his OOTP supporters in there as well. So I will be there watching whenever I can today, tomorrow, today, whatever whatever it is. And I'm very excited because tonight there's definitely someone I want to raid into. Let me make sure they're up and running and not about to shut down. Yeah, they're only 52 minutes in, so I think we're good. Emmy Melodies is a super talented uh, pianist and singer. Really like her arrangements of songs with just that piano vocal arrangement. She also has some originals that are great, and you can pull up her song list, exclamation point SL, and request songs. Anyway, super chill stream, super fun. Um, Performer, really talented. I hang out there quite a bit when I'm not hanging out in Ophi's stream. So we're gonna take you over to Emmy Miller. She only streams, I think, twice a week. So this is a rarer opportunity to catch Emmy. So we're gonna go raid her tonight. And again, congratulations to Smileyface Jane for 10 PTCS entries in one account. Amazing, amazing feat. And we'll see you again tomorrow night. It'll probably be another experiment, maybe a game if someone feels up to doing one tomorrow night. And then we'll do some pack ripping Thursday and some PTCS roster building on Friday. All right. Thanks again, everybody.